All good? Good evening. This is the post-match press conference for the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 Asian Qualifiers Group B game between Team Japan versus Team Australia. Japan defeated by Australia 98-52. Australia coach Brian Gorgian and Sam Froling have joined us, so may I ask you switch your mobile phones off. Press conference will be conducted in English. Brian, can you give us your comments about the game?
No, just after last night, the win, everybody was over the moon. It was a great performance. Again, coming in with a new group on a real high. The concern was coming into tonight, just in evaluating us. And in those areas, again, I thought we were really good tonight. We came out on the defensive end of the floor, did a lot of switching, they moved the ball real well, and I thought for most of the game we did a real good job defensively. Didn't let them get second.
They just make the game a lot easier for you. They read it so well.
Brian, with the way the group's done so well to keep the energy up, follow the leadership, how keen are you to see that continue on Sunday? How do you sort of drive that in the guys as you head towards that big game?
Well, it's interesting, you listen to Sam, the guy he refers to as Delhi. They don't refer to the coach. It's different than the NBL because he's a coach within the group. There's a strong, unbelievable, something I haven't experienced in my time in basketball with this national team, the leadership group and the power of them. And I think my job, and I learned it real quick coming into this, is keep my mouth shut and step back and let them control this. And just I've said to Delhi at the start, make sure your job is to make sure the guys are ready to play. I'm not going to go into that box because I can't do what you do. And then there has been an additional empowerment of guys underneath real quickly. You see it in White. Jack White's been tremendous helping Delhi there, along with Thon Maker and Mitch McCarron. So there's been 4 of them there that with Delhi lead. What you're saying, it's nice to be able, with this short window of practices, to be able to focus on practice and not worry about that aspect because they take care of it.
George, could you talk a little bit about how well the guys shared it around tonight? I think every listed player got on the floor, everyone made a bucket, you had 25 assists or something along those lines.
I said to him after the game, and it's a great point you make, defense group, that they share the ball. There's no hogs out there. If the guy's open for the next one, they throw it. And that's just instinctive within the group. And I think, and now this group's playing a pretty good brand of basketball, and they're doing the things that you do, that it makes attractive to the eye, is they're covering each other's back defensively, and they're sharing the ball on offense. They're throwing that extra pass, and that's nice.
Can you talk a little bit more about Sunday? I mean, Joe Chi's obviously a pretty big problem for you to tackle. What are you expecting? Are you going to do something different with him?
I thought we did a really good job, and it's funny, he's big in the NBL. He seemed bigger the other night. I don't know. And they just Wang and then Shen coming in there. They're just huge. And I just think, there's a couple of areas that they got us on a couple, and you can make some little adjustments. But we did go into that game with a focus there, and the fact that we've played them once, we hope that we can do it a little bit better. But this tournament, that is a great challenge. I'm really pleased that we get the opportunity to play China twice, because it's great for the development of the Boomers, and it's great to bring a game like this to Melbourne. I thought it was a fantastic level of basketball, and I know that China, because I've been in there, and they don't take losing lightly. They're going to be pumped for the game, as we will. So it's going to be a great game.
Do you feel like with that sharing and movement that you can?
Yeah. So we do have it's not our 7-3 guys smashing their 7-3. Competition has an advantage in the game.
Sam, how conscious are you of the opportunity these qualifiers could give a guy like yourself? Because we saw last campaign, Nick Kay, Angus Brand, a whole bunch of guys got a whole lot of national team time out of it. How conscious are you?
I mean, anytime you get to put on the green and gold is super special. I just want to come in here and do my job and, you know, be a part of this culture. There's nothing like it. I can't put it into words. Like Delhi and Joe have said over this last decade, coming into this and seeing what it's like, and hopefully getting that opportunity to keep putting on the green and gold in the future. It's exciting, and but right now we're just focused on winning this next game.
Well, I've got a couple on Joe G as well. You mentioned that he looked different, and I bumped into a couple of guys last night, and they said it's like a different guy from what they saw in the NBL. And I was guessing that was projecting how willing they were to feed him in the post. Is he quite different? What difference did you see from what you know in China to what you saw in the NBL and then potentially last night?
I just thought last night, in when I've played against him in China, when I've played against him nationally like last night, more lively, more of a focus. And I don't put any free-flowing here. It's the game doesn't stop like it does in the NBL. So the frustration of fouls and the opportunity of him being a focus in what they do. And that's how it is on his club team, even with imports. So I'm not saying anything's right or anything wrong, but you're dealing with a different guy on Team China than you are with the Phoenix.
And you obviously saw Sam this year. So when you talk about that, with the bigs in the NBL, a lot of them can space the floor, you play 5 out. So do you think it is the style of play in the NBL or not necessarily having dominant post bigs developing?
It's a really good point you make. I think it's a little bit of both, but I've always thought that NBL, when I originally, from the origination of it, you couldn't get an American dominant big because they're too much money. And now the game's changing to style of play. So a lot of teams, NBA, a lot of teams are playing small ball. But I'll tell you about Joe Chi, I think he's 7'3" and versatile. I think he can face up on the three, and they did it, in the third quarter. We were doubling, they rolled him out of there and had us rotate. He was good off the dribble. He carried the ball once and split guys and got to the rim. And when he was with Houston, they were really working on developing his three. So toughness to him. He's used to getting belted a little more than he did in China, and so now he's becoming a more rounded player. And the finishing touches, he's 7'3" and he's getting older. He's probably 27, 28. I've played against him when he was 18 years old, and we were supposed to win the junior championship, and he had 43 and 20. And I know, it's like the first time you see Yao when you're over there. This guy's really special, and he's evolving. And I do think the NBL was good for him as well.
Thank you. This is the end of the first part of the press conference. We'll be back soon with Team Japan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome back to the second part of this post-game press conference. We now have with us Japan Tom Havas and Kasai Tominaga. Go for it, Coach.
Yeah, obviously tough one for us. This has been, we've had different players in our different camps. It seems like we've got to figure out how to take our practice into the game. We've been practicing well, and it's kind of frustrating to not see it happen in the game. We can play a lot better, and I think it's just something that we didn't have any practice games or anything. I'm not making any excuses. I really thought we were going to play a little bit better than we did today. It was unfortunate. There were a couple bright spots. Tominaga's first game, and that's exactly how he's been practicing. So that was something that I was really happy to see. Yeah, we just got out of rhythm early. They blocked a couple shots, and we lost some aggressiveness going into the paint. And then we just started shooting threes, and we weren't hitting threes, and that's not what we're supposed to do. And we just got out of rhythm. So, and it took 2.5 quarters for us to find a way back, which obviously at this level against Australia it's too much. I did like the fight until the end, and that's something that we were talking about at halftime in the third quarter. So it's not about effort. It's just about putting the effort with thinking a little bit more during the game. But we have to figure it out. We have a short window, and we have to get ready for Taipei. So hopefully we'll be able to show a little bit better basketball on Sunday.
And Tominaga, can you please give your comments about the game?
Yep. So I feel like we could play more better. We've been practiced very well, but we couldn't play like we usually play practice. So so that was my first game in national team. So I was a little nervous at the beginning of the game, but so I took some bad shot. So I gotta get better. So I gotta do my role more. So yeah, we gotta win the next game.
Coach, can you just give us an idea of how many guys you're sort of missing from what you consider your sort of first choice,
the B League just finished about a week before we started camp. So what I wanted to do, I didn't want. We have a long summer, so we have this window, the Asia Cup, window 4. And we have some sponsor games as well. So it's basically a 3-month window, and I can't take all the best players after the B League and have them for 3 months, and then they start their B League again. So I basically broke it into 2 groups of 40. So, but it's a tryout, but it's also we have 5 or 6 players that can probably be on the end team for the World Cup. Tominaga was great. Some of the younger players, they didn't play well today. Yoshi has been playing fantastic in practice. And I think he can help us. He's a physical kid. He can shoot. He can put it on the floor. He didn't have it today. Kai Taves earned that starting spot today. Big physical point guard, quick, can get to the paint, and really good passer. He wasn't able to play his game today, but again, that's growing. So it's not our AA team, but yeah, I just thought we'd be a little bit better than we were.
We've seen with your women's teams in the past, you've had some really good traps, some little
Yeah.
sneaky plays. Is that something you're still working in, or is it not translate as well?
Yeah, so that's part of this process. I'm trying to find bigs that can stretch the floor, and that's not equating to the defensive side. So it's kind of it's a process. We're trying to find pieces to the puzzle because we have obviously Rui Hachimura and Yuta Watanabe in the NBA and Yudai Baba, who would be obviously they'd be big helps, and we're trying to find pieces to the puzzle to fit around it. And yeah, sometimes games like today will hurt, but we have to learn from it. And players like Tominaga really have stepped up, and you can visualize where he can fit, right? So try not to be too negative personally, and try to find a way through this.
Do we have a translator?
はい、お疲れ様です。
残念な結果なんだと思うんですけども、
はい
収穫を得た部分もあったと思いますが、やっぱり日本語で教えていただいてもいいですか。
はい、はい。そう、まあ残念ですけど、いい試合できなかった。で、不思議なこと、勉強したいなことは、練習はいい。もう本当にいい練習やってるんですよ。でも試合あまり良くない。だからそういう理由は今一人ずつがいろいろ話してロックルームの中で話して答えは簡単じゃないけどもっともっとみんな少しずつレベルアップしないと自信持てないとできないと思いますからそこをいろいろ話したちょっと不思議です本当に残念ですもっともっと若い選手がもっともっと勝負するかなと思いましたさて
その中でも富永選手はじめ、
はい
両チーム最大の18得点をマークされて、
はい
コバさんからご覧になって富永選手のプレー改めていかがでしたか。本人も先に言ったんですけど最初の出だしは多分すごいモチベーションパッションが高かってで普通のシュートなんか1対1の3とかちょっとやったんですけど、試合はもう続いて彼はもう打ちすぎていいバスケットボールやりました。はい。だから本当に彼とルイとかユタとか一緒にプレーすると面白いかなと思います。はい。今日代表デビューされる中で試合前に富永選手どんな言葉をかけられましたか。いやもう緊張するですかとかいろいろ聞いてでも全然緊張しないから自信持ってますよ。そこをもうこのステージでなんかいい勝負しましたかなと思います。富永選手の質問してください。
そうですね、本当さっきトムさんが言った通り、その最初のその出だしのところはちょっとなんか決めたい気持ちがちょっと強まりすぎて、その1対1からのタフなショットとか、そういうなんかその自分がいつもそうやらないようなちょっとプレーをやってしまったところがあって、でそこからそのタイムアウトでそのコーリーコーチとかもそうですし、そのいつも通りのことやってたらそのうち自分に回ってくるからっていうことも言ってもらって、そこで本当にノーマークになった時に自分のショットを打って、その中で自分の流れがつかめていったのかなと思いますし。本当にその初戦オーストラリアで、なかなかその厳しいゲームになりましたけど、本当にいい経験だと思いますし、本当にこれをこの結果を受け止めてもっともっと自分たちを練習していかないといけないですし、そうですね、なんかいい収穫ができた試合だったと思います。代表デビューだったと思うんですけども、なんか姫ヶ谷を引いてる時とか最初コートに立つ瞬間とかなんか溢れる思いとかあったりしました。そうですね、本当にそのアンダー18以来のその5対5の代表ということで、本当にやっとこの舞台に立てたっていう思いもありましたし、本当にこ こからもっともっと日本をその強くさせていけたらなっていう思いもたくさんありました。
改めて通用したプレーともう一つあったなっていうプレーを教えてもらってもいいですか？
そうですね、よく練習でやってたそのジャンプストップ、そのドライブとか入った時にジャンプストップをやってそのやるっていうところがそのなかなかそのちょっと相手のフィジカルに押され負けてタフなショットになってしまったのとかが多かったんで、そこはもっともっとそのフィジカルつけてやっていかないといけないところと、本当にスリーポイントの部分に関してはいつも通り打てたので、そこは良かったかなと思います。
あさって台湾戦もありますが、台湾戦の意気込みを教えてもらってもいいですか？
そうですね、本当にまずメンタルで負けずにその自分たちのその練習してきた通りのバスケットを見せれたらいいなと思います。
最後に、今日の試合もそうですし、あさっての試合も、日本でたくさんのファンが応援してくれると思います。日本のファンに向けてメッセージを頂戴してもいいですか？
そうですね、本当に今日はなかなかいい日本のバスケットが見せれなかったんですけど、本当に次の台湾戦は本当にチーム一丸となって声出して日本らしいバスケットを見せれるように頑張ります。
大場さんからも最後、日本のファンの皆さんにメッセージいただいてもいいですか？
今日は残念ですけど、あさっての試合もっともっといいバスケットもやりたいから応援してください。もうみんなの力が必要からお願いします。よろしくお願いします。ありがとうございます。はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you, Japan. This
Thank you.
post-game press conference is over.
Thank you.
Thank you.